Today we're going to look at the next step for your cardboard sculpture. We started with this camera. If you go back and have a look at the video 1, I talk about the different approaches to cardboard sculpture and what different artists like Picasso did. I run through a quick slideshow and show you how to break it down into a more sort of cubist thing, and that's why it's really important not to just jump straight from this into this. You need to do a sketch first, okay? It's very important that you draw your sculpture, and maybe it might take a few sketches to see what it's going to look like. You know, there's some important decisions you're going to make about what you're going to make bigger, what you're going to make smaller, what are you going to open out. Because when we look at Picasso's Cubist sculpture, he opened things out and he showed us the insides as well. You notice that I played around with the notion of the viewfinder. And when I looked at the viewfinder this way, it's square, but when I look at the back, it's round. The outside of it is round. So I played around with the square and the round, okay? And then I talked about these aperture numbers that sit around here on this old camera. It's a great looking old camera. I put those onto the strap of the casing, and part of the casing is also here. And then this section, see this section here with this little I think it's a light detector, or I'm not quite sure what it is. All right, I've put that down here now. And then one of the straps, one of the buckles on the straps, I've brought out the front. So I've kind of shattered the whole thing up. And then I decided that one of the numbers on the aperture, which is like the middle setting, 5.6, is quite nice there. And you know, it's the middle setting, and my name's Middleton. No, I don't know. Anyway, that's what I've decided to do. So what we've got to do now is after we've done our sketch, whoopsie daisy, I'm cooped up in a little room up here. I'm in the spare best bedroom, which I've turned into my office. So probably like you people, you know, I've got a little space, not a lot of room. I do have my hot glue gun warming up down there, so that's important, and keep it safe. All right, okay, let's chop the box up. You get a box like this, and for any of you who've ever worked in any kind of supermarket type job or part-time job, you know that it's really easy to pop a box open. You're very carefully keeping your hands out of the way. Just do a couple of little nicks here and here and here, and then cutting away from yourself, take it out like that. And boxes will usually have a join just there. And I'm going to get my little metal ruler, or any old ruler you like, and I'm just going to break it into this bit here. So now I've got a complete piece of cardboard, okay? And now to make it more manageable, I'm going to divide it up into 2 pieces. So I'm just going to very carefully do this. Now, a little tip. You need a sharp blade. I know you think the sharp blade is going to be dangerous, but actually a sharper blade is safer because it doesn't struggle. You see I was struggling then? I do need to change the blade on this knife. So if you're struggling, you need a sharper blade. The other thing is always be careful you haven't got your hands underneath what you're cutting. It's very easy to lose concentration and make a mistake and cut your hands. Right, so the next thing I do now is I need to draw out the shapes. So I think I'm going to start with this base piece, and it's just going to be a big rectangle, okay? So I'm going to fit it in here. I'll keep that bit out. So I need a pencil. As you can see here, this here I've turned into this kind of thing here, okay? Now the next thing I want to do is I want to get this shape cut out here, and I'm deciding that it's probably going to sit about here. And I'm just going to draw it onto the shape, and there's no point doing extra cuts that I don't need to do. So this line here is going to be this bit of cardboard here, but I just literally lay it over the top and get it into the right shape. So I'll probably just do that kind of thing. that kind of shape there. Use a ruler, will help you. Keep your fingers out of the way. Keep everything on your bench. And cut deliberately and directly. Now, really important is my fingers are holding this, but they are out of the way. And see how high my elbow is? That kind of helps me get that shape, helps me get a nice clean cut. Now, it hasn't come through right, so I need to go again. Come on. And there it is. Just like my drawing, running out of hands. Just like my drawing here, that is going to go. Which way is it going to go? Wish I could do it with a third arm. That's going to go there. Yeah, that's it. That's going to go there. And I might cut that little circle. See that little circle thing? I might cut that out. And then we just continue on. So what I do is I put it in, and I turn the cardboard. Now what I did was I practiced a few times because this is looking a bit untidy. Now I turn over the back and you can see a little bit of a cut. Sometimes a cut on the back is going to be better than the cut on the front. But there it is, and it's, you know, it's a tricky medium to work with. All right, so you can actually cut, and it's about how you hold everything, and how forceful. But you can actually cut some nice. You can get some nice clean shapes and lines. A lot of the time, it's about maybe not turning your knife. It's about turning the material. Okay. All right, and the other quick thing is this is the back of my camera, okay? But I want to use part of it as the top. So what I'm going to do is I could fold it. And it'll just kink. But one thing I could do is quite possibly, how big is it going to be? It's kind of, I'll bring my sculpture back. So that's going to be like that. According to my drawing, that's there, that's going to curl over. So I'm now starting to think that the back of my camera is going to be about there. Now the back of the camera is easy to deal with because it's a rectangle, right? So it's going to be about there, which means it's going to fold about where my thumb is. So I've probably got just a little bit too much material. So I'm going to take a little bit of it off. Now, because I've got those corrugations, I can actually cut in a straight line without having to use a ruler. Keep all your bits because you will use them, okay? Keep them all. Now, to fold cardboard nicely, what you do is you just put a little score, and I've got my, how can I show you this? Can you see how my fingers are on the cardboard there? So I cut with my fingers on it, right? So I cut a little score, and I'm not going all the way through, I'm just going through the first layer of cardboard, and then it bends like that. Now that's a bit ugly. That's a bit ugly on the back there. Is it? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. The other way you can do it is you can have two pieces and use your hot glue gun with some little tabs. Okay, but start cutting out your pieces and doing what we call a dry run. So even that's just a little big. So when I check it out, when I go, right, well there's my camera, it's too high. It's heaps too high. Like it needs to come right down. But like, let's not waste it. What I'll do is I'll do the base of it as well. So it's, what is it? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corrugations cut on the 6th. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, a bit tricky here to see, but I think it's about there. And if I just break through that and cut that. Right. Okay, here we go. So here's the start of my sculpture. And then my this is going to come into it. Ah, that's right. So look, remember this? You don't remember it. Right here is the back cuts into it. So I need to do that now. So how do we do that? I know how we're going to do it. I'm going to decide that it comes in, leave my fingers there, pull a little pencil mark, and I'll move everything out of the way. And I'm just going to cut in. Now I cut in more than I need, and I'm going to take a section of it out because I've got to account for the thickness of the cardboard, because the cardboard is a certain thickness. Okay, and let's have a look. That's going to pop in there. That's going to sit right there. So I've just sort of started to make, this is the back of the camera, which is there. This fold here is going to be this bit here. So the other part of it is going to come in kind of like there. And that's probably starting to look like what I'm after. Okay? And you just keep going on like that and just build it in parts first. And then I'll show you how to glue it together with a hot glue gun. So get all your bits ready. Maybe, and the other thing is, that's really handy to do, and you have real little bits like this. And what you do is you hold things together just to see how they're going to run. Okay? So you might do that. And you just tack it together. You don't press too hard. And it just helps you get an idea of how everything is going to look. Now this is all going to come back up again when you're done. You get rid of the masking tape later. But this is sort of helping you do a dry run of your sculpture. Okay? Alright, all the best.